If you were to have asked me a few years back what success meant to me, I would have given you a completely different answer now than I would have back then. And honestly, I think that's a good thing. Because if your definition of success never evolves, there's a good chance you're chasing goals that no longer fit the person you're becoming. Lately, I feel like my definition of success has changed entirely. And when that changed, everything else started to change in my life too. For a long time, success was mostly about achievement, how much money I could make and how much I could produce, how much I was worth to the exterior, right? How far I could climb, what I could accomplish. And there's nothing inherently wrong with those things. I still believe in ambition. I still believe in growth, but I believe building something meaningful. But I started noticing something. The more I focused exclusively on achievement, the easier it became to neglect everything else, neglect everything in my life. At some point, I had to ask myself, what happens if I achieve all my goals? No, seriously, what happens if I really achieve all this? What happens if I achieve my goals but lose the life I was trying to improve in the process? What happens if I make more money but I become disconnected from my family? What happens if I build a career but I sacrificed my peace? What happens if I win professionally but I lose personally? That question, it stayed with me. And slowly my perspective began to change. I stopped looking at success as a number. I started looking at it as a life, right? Because at the end of the day, success isn't something you visit. Success is something you live every single day. It's a lifestyle. You should know this by now. Today, success looks different. Everything looks different to me now. Success is about waking up with peace. Success is about having ownership over my time. Success is being present with my family. Success is having meaningful work that aligns with my values, that is intrinsic with myself and my beingness, right? Success is taking care of my health. Success is continuing to grow as a man. Success is becoming someone my son can look up to. That's what matters to me now. One of the biggest shifts for me has had to be how I view time. I used to think that money was the ultimate goal. Now I see differently because money can be earned again. Time, you can't earn that. The moments you miss are gone. The conversations you don't have, they're out of here. The opportunities to be present, they don't last forever. You got to make a decision. And once I understood that, I started making different decisions. As a father, this hits differently because my son isn't going to remember how busy I was. He's not going to remember how many hours I worked. He's not going to remember quarterly goals or production numbers. He's going to remember whether I was there, whether I was engaged, whether I was present. That realization changed entirely how I define success. It also started getting me to think differently about health, right? There was a season of my life where training and taking care of myself was a huge priority. Then life got busy, stress increased, survival mode took over, and a lot of that fell away. Honestly, at the point of my success is when everything started falling off. Now I realize success isn't just about building externally, it's also about taking care of the person doing the building. Because what good is success if your health collapses under it? Spiritually, my definition of success has changed too. I used to think that success, it was mostly about what I could accomplish, right? Now I think success is about who I'm becoming. Am I growing in wisdom? Am I growing in faith? Am I becoming more aligned with the values I used to believe in? Because eventually, achievement, it stops being enough. Character, it matters. Purpose matters more than all. Alignment matters even more than that. So I'm going to tell you what I no longer chase. There are things that used to matter to me more that I simply don't even care about the same way anymore. External validation, trying to impress people, comparing myself constantly. Comparison is the thief of joy. Living according to someone else's definition of success, buying into a life and a vision that they implanted in me that wasn't even mine to begin with. These weren't the words that God implanted on my heart. I've realized those pursuits are endless. There's always another comparison, always another benchmark, always a person doing more. There's always a bigger fish, right? That's not a game I want to spend my life playing. Why are you fighting a whale when it takes two fish to feed your family? So now I believe success is balance, not perfect balance, but alignment. A life where your work supports your values, where your time reflects your priorities, your actions, they match the beliefs that you have inside your heart. Your ambition doesn't destroy your peace. That's success to me. I think a lot of people are chasing success without ever defining it for themselves. They inherit someone else's definition of success. They spend years running towards goals that they never consciously chose in the first place. I've done that all too many times, 10, 15, 20, 100 times in my life. A lot of people have. A lot of people that are here right now listening to this video have done that thousands of times. But eventually you have to ask, what does success actually mean to me? Not to society, not to social media, not to other people, but to me. That question can change your entire life. What success means to me now is simple: peace, purpose, presence, faith, family, growth, meaningful work, and becoming the man I know I'm capable of becoming. If those things are growing, then I'm succeeding, no matter what the scoreboard says. If your definition of success has changed as you've gotten older, comment the word success down below, because sometimes success isn't about reaching a goal. The biggest sign of growth is redefining what matters to you in the first place. You know that matters. You know this question is relevant. Just ask it to yourself. Think about it. Ponder it. Let your spirit sit in that and breathe. I love you. Have peace. Peace.